It's always fun in films when a character royally screws up at the start. Screws up a lot, then screws up in a big way after, then everyone's life is in shambles until life lessons are learned, or there are no survivors. Enter Kenai, the protagonist of Brother Bear. Kenai wants to be a man, but he has a really unhealthy idea about what being a man actually is. He thinks being a man is a fun, cool thing that cool, tough people get to do, and he's less than thrilled when the great spirits above reveal that his spirit totem is the Bear of Love. Love, after all, isn't manly or cool. We see Kenai behave in all kinds of reckless, fun-loving, irresponsible manners because he understands nothing of responsibility, or togetherness, or love. And so being told love is in his soul, his purpose in life, he grows frustrated and confused. Though the film is absolutely going all in on its morality here, there are plenty of appreciable subtleties to his behavior and circumstance. Kenai finds himself getting along well with children because he relates to them easily through his own childish behaviors. After being given the Bear of Love as his totem, he also falsely directs anger at the bear as a species, rather than the idea of love, which is the actual source of his grievance. This kind of misattribution happens all the time in the real world, so it's nice to see it conveyed so naturally in film. Kenai's unjustified distaste of bears continues to escalate when a bear steals the village's fish, ruins his brother Denahi's basket, and threatens Kenai's life, prompting his eldest brother Sitka to commit an act of noble sacrifice and save his life. Kenai blames the bear for this, and why wouldn't he? To him, bears are mindless, stupid animals, and they recently thrust unwanted destiny upon him through his totem. The bear isn't actually at fault, of course. Kenai's own reckless behaviors led to the theft of the fish, then Kenai himself chased after the bear against the village's wishes, forcing Sitka into the very situation where life was lost. Kenai's inability to accept responsibility was the biggest culprit in this tragedy. Failing to realize this, Kenai slaughters the bear in vengeful cold blood, betraying the destiny of his totem and spitting at the idea of love. The great spirits above, of which Sitka is now a member, don't take kindly to this transgression and transform Kenai into a bear himself, that he might now see through their eyes. It's a compelling tragedy where Kenai's behavior set his own hellish nightmare into motion. Kenai's surviving brother Denahi thinks Kenai was killed by a bear and is now out for blood as well. The cycle of violence and hatred continues, but this time Kenai himself is in the crosshairs. In addition, Kenai must nurture and guide the cub of the very bear he murdered. There aren't too many films where a character has to explain to their spiritual brother, "Hey, I killed your parent, but I was a very different person a week ago, and I'm grateful this is one of them." Unfortunately, after Kenai's transformation, aside from the emotional highlights I just mentioned, much of the film loses its grounding and dramatic luster. The two obligatory comic relief characters appear, and oh god are they obtrusive, but there's also the film's newfound fondness for slapstick and general cartoon shenaniganry. There are ample opportunities for the traditional challenging of perspectives and opening of eyes, of course, but the shift in tone is nonetheless stark, and so many of the comedy scenes do nothing to further explore or develop the characters or themes. I also have a strong distaste for the way this film in particular anthropomorphizes bears, moose, and all manner of other critters. It professes that we should all love one another as brothers, and open our eyes to new perspectives so we can better express affection and grow closer. But when it finally comes time to see from a new perspective, we mostly just get human characteristics stapled onto furry things. It isn't necessarily challenging much prejudice or perspective if the character who hates bears finds out that all other bears just happen to act like perfectly amiable human beings for the sole sake of proving him wrong. It's just Kenai being assaulted with his wrongness until he accepts that, hey, all animals are really just like people. They're even religious, just like us. They have the same religion. There's something off about it. You should love other people because everyone deserves love, not just because they turn out to be the same as you. If you go into the film's morality trying to perceive the animals as analogous to another human culture, then it still doesn't work because other human cultures are different. That's what makes them a culture. They don't all believe and behave the same way. And if you try to take it literally that it's about being more empathetic toward animals, it's even worse because the animals in this film behave nothing like animals, so trying to carry the morality into the real world might get someone hurt or worse. If you want to be a film about understanding other people, Brother Bear, you have to show the way in which people are different from one another. You can't portray everyone as literally the same just because that's the easiest way to solve the conflict and prove Kenai wrong about his presumptions. All that said, the emotional highs, spectacular orchestration, and overall passion of Brother Bear's theme definitely still sparkle, even if its poor balancing of goofy and grim, alongside its confused morality, can be extremely distracting. It's better to watch for its artistry than for the lessons it tries to impart. Hey, it's the end of the video. Did you know I have a Patreon? It's true. If you grab certain tiers there, you can directly influence what content I make next. Or you can just offer general support. Both are lovely, and some equally lovely people are already signed up. People I will list for you now. My wonderful supporters are iPompous, Anonymous, Jay, Marth Sinclair, Mighty Minimalist Power Rangers, and Sam Anderson. A link to the Patreon is in the description. Thank you all so much for your time and thoughts, and I'll talk to you in the next video.